So this is the exact framework that I use to book 147 meetings as an SDR and an AE, and I'm giving it away for free. I'm going to give a full breakdown, and if you want this template plus 4 more follow-ups, comment email below, and I'll send it over to you. But the reason I'm going through this is email is the biggest leverage point that I see with my clients. For me, when I was a rep, email was my best channel. The reason I used it is because I could reach out to a lot of people, get results quickly. I didn't have to be on the phone constantly, and it made my life a lot easier. So I could focus on upskilling in other areas like discovery and demo, which helped me to move to become an AE in 11 months, the youngest one at Revolut. So this framework is exactly what I give to all my clients, as I've said, and it's seen great results even this year. Like Frank went from 1% to 12% reply rates. Raphael booked 2 multi-billion-dollar companies in his first 7 days. Christian booked 3 meetings in 3 days. Like, I'm not going to talk about all the results because we'll be here for a while. But again, just wanted to really break down the exact framework and give it to you for free. So the first thing is the trigger, which is why are we reaching out? Now, there's 2 types of triggers you can use. There's either personal, which is about the individual, or there's account-based trigger. So we're going to talk about both. So a personal trigger is when something has happened to that individual. So this is things like a job change. Maybe they've recently got promoted. Maybe they're hiring for their specific team. Things like that that tie to the individual. So we're reaching out because we've seen something about them that could make now a good time for us to be in their inbox, right? So it's all about relevancy. It's all about timing. The second thing is the account-based trigger. So again, this could be the company's just had an acquisition. Maybe they've just had a merger. Maybe the headcount's growing, like something that's happening with the org as a whole. So the difference between the two, a personal trigger, because it's happening to them directly, it's easier to tie to their role, their KPIs. An account-based trigger is happening with the company as a whole, but we have to think about what does the individual we're messaging care about, okay? Again, only 3% of the market is ever ready to buy now, so we always have to have a reason to reach out, as that helps us to give a better chance of reaching that 3%. The second thing is your implication. So this is based on that trigger event, based on why we're reaching out, what could be a focus for them. This is why it's so important to create messaging based on each persona. When we're doing this, we have to understand what do they go through in their day-to-day, what are the common issues, what is the impact of that to their KPIs, and how do we fix it, right? So what we want to do is lead with the trigger, hey, saw you recently joined company, curious how you're going about ramping reps in your first 90 days, right? That ties to what they're going to be doing in their day-to-day. And as Josh Braun says, we poke the bear to get them thinking about a potential issue before we call it out directly. So this is so important to do, is to tie the two together. A trigger only becomes a trigger when it's relevant to their role. The next thing is pain. Now, this is often where so many reps fall apart because they'll just call out a surface level issue or they'll just talk about their solution. So when we're talking about pain, there's a very specific way we want to do it. So I'm a big proponent of one email, like the initial email should have one pain and one cost of inaction. Like I always use a weird analogy when I'm coaching reps, which is like a bandage one. If I just say, hey, do you want a bandage? Probably tell me no, tell me to go away. If I said, hey, you have a paper cut, do you want a bandage? Probably be like, it's a bit overkill for what I have. If I said, hey, you have a paper cut, but it's over a major artery, and if you don't apply pressure, you're going to bleed to death, do you want a bandage? You'd probably want it. So again, so many reps are like, oh, it's manual. You have a manual process. Or, oh, it takes a lot of time. That's a paper cut. It's not deep enough to make somebody change right now. So we have to show them how status quo, how that tiny issue leads to something that directly impacts their KPIs. So again, if I'm talking about ramp time, I'm saying typically it takes sales teams 4 months to get reps ramped, which means 80% of teams aren't ready and miss quota. Like something like that ties to a KPI. So we always have to show a cost of inaction. And that ties into this, which is before, after bridge. So the pain is the before. This is where they are right now in their current situation and why it's an issue. Deals aren't always lost to competitors. They're lost to status quo if people just stay in the same. So we really have to emphasize, why is staying the same not an option? Why, if you stay the same, will your life still be worse and still be an issue, right? So that's pain. Wanted to really go into that because it's important. Then we talk about social proof. So how have you helped somebody like them avoid that? So this is the after. This is where they can be. So the pain is the before. The social proof is how have you helped somebody achieve a desired outcome that this person wants to do? So we have to make it super specific, talk about the results they got, and the more tangible the result, the better. So again, same for pain and after. If we're saying, oh, it was faster, that's super vague. Faster could be 1 second. It could be 10 hours faster, right? If we say typically, I don't know, let's say I'm talking about automations, right? I'm talking to an ops leader. Typically, ops use multiple different platforms, which means it takes over 2 weeks to complete a full task. We help social proof get that down to 2 days by implementing that AI, NAN, whatever, right? Suddenly, because it has a a number tied to it, it's tangible and it's real. And the more specific it is, the more desirable it is, right? So that's the after. Then we talk about the solution. So we have the before with the pain, the after with the social proof. Your solution is the bridge to go from where they are right now in this negative current situation to the desired social proof. So you are the way to go from here to here, right? The worse the current situation, the better the desired outcome, the bigger the gap, right? If this gap is big enough, it will be worth them fixing. So that's why we have to have a big cost of inaction and clear social proof to make it a gap to where your solution makes sense. Then we finish it with a soft CTA. So here's the skeleton. Again, I use this literally every single time. I'm going to have this in the post so you can literally just copy paste this, because every client, this is exactly what I do. So I lead with the trigger, then tie it to an implication, then move into the pain, then talk about the cost of inaction, then talk about social proof and how we help someone fix it. So an example, this is like a really simple one, but looks like you're hiring A's in DC. That's my trigger. Imagine ramping them quickly as a priority. Implication. So based off you hiring, this is probably a focus. Most sales leaders struggle to get reps ramped under 5 months. Pain. The delays cause 65% of teams to miss quota in 2023, right? This is, you can tell how old this is, right? But again, the cost of inaction has to be specific to their KPI. So if I'm talking to a sales leader, a CRO, a VP of sales, they care about that. They care about their team's attainment because that's their goal. Then I'm talking about the social proof. We help Gong's reps ramp under 3 months, desired outcome, with our coaching. That's the bridge. Open to seeing how the CTA. And again, just to show you before, after bridge in action. So again, the before is the pain, is where they are right now, missing quota, probably going to miss it, awful situation. The after is how we've helped people ramp in 3 months. And then the solution, the bridge, is how you actually get them there. So again, this is the exact template I use. I wanted to share this because I think if you get email right, it can be the biggest leverage point. So again, if you want this, comment email below. And if you are interested in working with me to actually tailor this to your industry, I'm running a program. It's called Summer Sprint. Comment, like DM me Sprint maybe, and then we can chat about it again. I have a few slots left. But either way, hope this was helpful. Any questions, drop a message.